So, okay, here we go then, folks. We got round one happening. Wave C, look that. Dev facing off against VKC. Rosalina versus Pokemon Trainer. My goodness, what an exciting matchup we got already.
And this is not a matchup I think we see very often at all. It will definitely be interesting how Rosa deals with the different types of playstyles that come out of the different PT characters. Squirtle obviously renowned for just running in, being able to get on top of you, combo you, and there's not a lot you can do about it. And it's whether does Rose have answers to that in her kit? Like, I don't really know, to be honest. Luma has obviously a lot of zone control, which is fantastic, but as we can see, doesn't really seem to be too great at keeping the Squirtle out at this point.
Well, this is the thing. This is what is going to define this matchup, because it's a real case of Rosalina as a character who, is obviously able to put up that shield, put up that Luma and keep it there as a bodyguard and not take any damage. So you kind of keep them fun. So it'll be a case of, can VKC kind of find a way in? You see them right now using those Razor Leaves just to kind of zone away, take down that Luma, because as soon as that bodyguard is gone, that's your time to go in. That's when you strike. And that's when Pokemon Trainer becomes strongest, because obviously you've got Ivysaur with ridiculous kill power. You've got the Charizard that can come out as well if you want to go a heavier character with even more kill power.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm wondering if this was a bit of a preemptive swap into the Ivysaur here in that late situation, looking for the early kill. But now I feel like VKC is kind of struggling in this neutral. Doesn't really know how, having to change to this zoning out playstyle, which is kind of a lot more what Rosa wants, and it feels like this game has slowed down and kind of evened out a lot more than I think VKC wanted.
This is the thing, because obviously VKC are doing a good job of getting rid of that Loom. Those Razor Leaves definitely coming in for them, but you've still got to find a way in. Dev's certainly been slowing it down. As soon as that Luma's gone, he has been, okay, right, I need to sort of maneuver back a little bit. And of course now the blue Luma is back. So VKC has got to revert back to this game plan, which he immediately does as well, using those Razor Leaf. But it's kind of a one-trick thing. Like, yes, you could do it, get rid of Luma, but if you're not taking down Rosalina when the shield is gone, then you're not going to get anywhere.
Yeah, for sure. And this Charizard swap was forced out, but then the back air does take its first stock. So, and then instantly returns on the up smash, so we're back into an even game.
We're just firing stocks back at each other. That was a really good switch from VKC, obviously going for that Charizard just to get a bit more kill power. Seeing that the Ivysaur couldn't really do it, but of course Dev completely unhindered by that, just immediately getting that up smash, revert back to a two-stock game here. Dev getting a little bit of something going here, showing that the Rosalina, though has been away for a little while, still as good as it ever was.
Yeah, for sure. And the question is, can VKC use this Squirtle aggressive power to get the stock lead? Or are we going to be going into what could be a timeout game if we're going to play that Ivysaur Razor Leaf kind of style? And because, like you say, if that shield is up, what can Ivy really do?
Yeah.
So I think it's really up to how VKC uses the Squirtle, if VKC wants to be the one taking the forefront of this match and dictating the pace. But that swap to Ivy is saying, I can't do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. And VKC able to find a little bit of an opening here. Again, using those that Luma. That Luma is now gone. That is a defenseless Rosalina right here. But again, Dev is just going on the aggressive here. Actually switch up a little bit from that stock one. Just going a foot more on the aggressive. Good upbeat though. Catching through the stage to just pipe on a little bit more damage onto Dev here. But still not able to take the stock. The Luma is back as well. God, this is when things start to get a little bit scary, because again, shield back up, you gotta get rid of it. And that thing sticks around for a while.
Yeah, it really feels like VKC is struggling to find those kill options for sure. And Dev is playing really patient. I want to definitely respect that and call that out. Like, even in the advantage states, it's really waiting for the option that comes out and just taking what's safe, taking the safe damage, not really overextending to look for the early kills. And I think that kind of shows how comfortable Dev feels. The down throw is going to take these stock though, so even though Dev might look comfortable, got now at a deficit that he's going to have to climb back out of.
Yeah, you can see Dev smiling, that player cam. He's having a bit of fun. He's excited to be back playing Smash again. But of course, VKC definitely got a bit of a narrow lead here. It is a thin one. He's got to be careful, but he's kind of needs to capitalize on this lead that he does have right now. Get as much free damage as possible. See him actually playing a little bit more defensive here. Again, use those Razor Leafs to good effect. Doing that the entire game just to zone away, not make any sort of risky attempts.
But Dev being really patient, just taking small steps across the stage, gaining stage control as he goes, forcing the Charizard, forcing the feel of a Charizard switch. But maybe this is the pace change that VKC needs. This hard-hitting character that maybe just the stray interactions. Nope, no, I'm wrong. That Nair's just going to steal it out.
And of course, the issue always is, Charizard is definitely something we've not actually seen too much of in this game so far. Generally, but it can be an answer deal with that Luma. It is obviously a very hard-hitting character, but it's slow as well, and that's why we saw Dev just immediately able to capitalize on the fact that Charizard is not the strongest off stage. So just going for that forward, it takes the stock away. It is still a very thin lead VKC here, but Dev is starting to pile it on. Good switch as well, though. Going to avoid that forward. Dev trying to get the down smash. Not going to hit it just yet. Again, Luma back out, but VKC actually doing a pretty good job moving around it.
Yeah, VKC's playing around that range really well, I think. Going, well, I'm in range for Razor Leaf, but you can't punish me for it, and that's a really good range to play at. But actually swapping all the way back around again, feeling pressured in these disadvantaged situations. And this game, even though it looked like it was really in VKC's favor, is entirely even now.
And what was he planning there? Dev is having the time of his life. He is clearly having fun. He knows he's within striking distance of taking this game as well. He has completely evaporated the lead that VKC had before. We're going very much to a last hit situation, Kara. Whoever makes the mistake, but a big back end, not going to do it just yet. And unfortunately, Dev couldn't make it back. VKC was also dead as well. It is the thing. You saw the flare bits across the stage. Didn't have enough height to make it back, but unfortunately, Dev just didn't have enough height, enough time before VKC took the game.
Yeah, and the pop-off after game one
yeah,
says a lot, doesn't it?
After game one. That's how you know it was close. The thing is, it was sort of quite back and forth, but I do feel like VKC was holding a lead for most of it.
Yeah.
And then just suddenly in that last stock, Dev just completely the lead vanished.
Yeah, I was literally about to start talking about how the range was being played really well around and how this eked out as the 60% lead for VKC and how it's looking so great. I look back at the screen and it's 90-90 and like, Dev,
exactly.
Where did you find this from? And can you produce it again in game 2?
Exactly. I feel like Dev certainly found a bit of sort of momentum in that last stock. Kind of started to work out exactly what he needs to do against specifically the Ivysaur, because I feel like he was certainly struggling a little bit in the first 2 stocks of game 1, but then that last stock was actually playing around it very, very nicely. And obviously dealing with the Charizard as well, quite efficiently. We barely saw Charizard actually come out at all because each time Dev was just dealing with it.
Do you think it is a dealing with it thing, a matchup thing, or so much like a lot of PT players don't use Charizard as much, so they like a little less experience with the character?
It's always a difficult thing because, of course, Ivysaur and Charizard, I feel like Pokemon trainer mains have to sort of weigh up kind of what they actually want in a certain situation. Do you want to add a bit more kind of weight, and a bit more kind of just raw kill power from your like singular move? Or do you want to have someone like Ivysaur who certainly has, ridiculous kill power and some huge hitboxes, but has a bit more sort of maneuverability, but just less weight to him? So you kind of got to sort of weigh up exactly what you want. So I feel like maybe VKC has been going more Ivysaur because of obviously that Razor Leaf being able to just zone away quite safely. But in this situation here, we've been seeing that Charizard for quite a while because you got moves like that back air, Kara.
Yeah, and Rosa doesn't really have an answer to that back air. Like, it's such a big move, it will hit through Luma as well to kill a Rosa. So I definitely like to see it, but I understand why it's kind of the Charizard only being brought out occasionally, because we did see for a good half minute there that Dev did just kind of have stage control and was just reacting to what Charizard did. This slow move, the flare bits, that nice up smash, and just being able to find advantages where maybe Ivysaur wouldn't give them away just from the speed of the moves.
Exactly. And of course, we're going to see the Squirtle for a little bit here, because very much just wants to kind of have that small character just piling on a little bit of sort of quick damage, which is what Squirtle can do. He's not a late game finisher. He's a combo starter.
Yep.
But of course, VKC has weighed up the options here, decided, okay, Squirtle's kind of done a little bit here, not too much, but I think I just need to have someone who can play a bit more kind of sort of strongly and sort of actually able to maybe even pile on quick damage, and get me into striking distance of taking a stock.
Yeah, I think what we've really seen throughout these 2 games is that Squirtle doesn't really feel like it's getting enough started to be worth being in. If you're picking Squirtle and you kind of feel like you want to be getting those combos, those kind of bigger percents going, and if you're not getting those combos, then the hits of Ivy, the Razor Leafs are kind of just worth more, really.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Dev has managed to squeak out a lead, though, as we've been talking, and is in an edge guard situation. So the question, can he finish off the stock here? No, a really nice up B through the stage to get VKC back on safely.
And another one as well to hit. Not gonna does get the red lightning, but not gonna take the stock just yet. Dev just hanging on very, very narrowly. Does need to deal with this Ivysaur though. VKC opting just kind of keep himself a little bit more staged, keep himself a bit more grounded, get a bit more damage tacked on. This is a scary position for Dev to be in, but both of them are certainly, within a high amount of damage. That Sucks will just disappear like we saw in that up air. Of course, going for the Squirtle again, just wants to get something started, but I do feel like VKC maybe needs to switch to that Ivysaur now. You don't necessarily need the Charizard, but the Ivysaur is probably what you want because you just need to take this stock now.
Yeah, does feel like that, right? I think both your players need to step back from ledge a bit more or just hold shield because I don't feel like these ledge situations are doing anything for either of them. You're seeing up B reversals when Ivysaur's off stage. You're seeing up air reversals when Rose is off stage. I just think there's a little more patience on that ledge. Could do a lot more. Oh, that was a really nicely timed down there. Force the Charizard switch out, and this is quite a lead Dev has managed to string out.
And that would be certainly a very dead Rosalina. And that's exactly why, sometimes Charizard is the answer. You got that kill foe with the up foe if you need it. So, of course, now it's still a scary position for VKC to be in, though. 83%, 107 after a big meaty up smash there. Dev certainly in strike distance of taking a stock here if he can just play a bit more grounded. But we know exactly what Pokemon Trainer can do with those easy combo starters of Squirtles. That just, kind of middle game, sort of into end game potential with Ivysaur, and then you got Charizard, which I think we might be seeing soon because 121, you just kind of need the kill power.
Not quite.
Not quite. And there it is. There it is, the Charizard. VKC has opted, you know what, I'm going to die to most things anyway, so I am going to go for just that big, meaty hit of Charizard, and this is where it starts to get a little bit shaky. Dev, he's got a good lead, but if he doesn't take the stock soon, it's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, definitely this is a kind of Hail Mary play, right?
Yes.
I'm really losing this game. I'm really struggling, but Charizard.
And he just looked him in the eyes and said, do something.
And that's the patience on ledge I wanted to see.
Exactly, yeah. That was good, actually, yeah. That was a good change up. Good, yeah. Dev absolutely played that so much stronger than sort of game one, where I feel like he was kind of allowing VKC to just kind of do a bit more to him. He was getting a lot more sort of hits on him. The up Bs were sort of all striking through, and VKC was just kind of controlling the pace of the game. But that game two, I think Dev was just had a more firm grasp on what he needed to do.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so 1-1 between these two. It has been very, very close so far. We're going into game three.
And let's see if VKC can kind of bring back that energy from game one. There was a few moments in that last stock where it kind of felt like the patience just wasn't there. That would be from Squirtle in stock 3. I don't know why you're going for that. That was such an unsafe move. Puts you in free-for-all if you miss it. And nearly just died for that singular choice. I don't want to see any more like that. I want to see the patience.
Yeah, no, because they definitely got to be quite careful here. But starting to get something a little bit going here. Okay, gets the back air as well, just piling a little bit more damage, just trying to stall him off stage. Goes for Ivysaur as well. This is good edge gun, but going to have to swap to that Charizard just to make it back, because he did put himself quite deep and was put in a position where actually he was facing the wrong way, so wouldn't have made it back unless he did swap. So it's good that he had enough time to do so and make it back safely. Yeah,
I think VKC saw an opportunity there where Luma was not on the field, right? And maybe even at 60, Ivysaur can kill us that up B off stage. So without Luma, I think we've seen what VKC's game plan is, to just be a lot more aggressive. Oh, that flare bit is going to knock Rosa out from that edge guard. And really, even the percent's out.
Yeah, and of course, more so as well. Dev did go for a back air in that interaction, but because of the super armor, Flare Blitz obviously just tanked right through it and hit smack there straight in the face.
There are not many moves in this game that can trade favorably with Flare Blitz. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's the problem. But, of course, we are going to be seeing this Charizard stick around for a little bit longer. I can't see VKC really choosing to stay off. Again, you're just put in this position. You're triple digits, 121. You kind of just want to stay the character that you know can kill.
This is not a Squirtle time,
this
for sure.
This is certainly not a Squirtle time. If we see the Squirtle, we know that's a problem.
But we're back in a ledge guard situation, and we'll see what Dev can do. A lot more patience off ledge. That back throw is going to take out the stock. It's going back to the Squirtle. That seems dangerous, though. Maybe staying on the Charizard might have been okay.
It's certainly it's a scary kind of thing to weigh up. I see why VKC is doing it, because he's reverting to that game plan of knowing that obviously, okay, my opponent's at 0, so I know that Squirtle can get lots of free combos at 0. Specifically, you can go for things like sort of the down throw, up air, up B, and that is normally about 50% tacked on. But as you said, Squirtle, when you're 162%, it feels like you're playing on a very thin rope.
Yeah.
You know, that could snap at any point.
Yep.
You could just lose your life in an instant. That's probably why we're now seeing 175. Well, we'll see. You know, that Charizard out because VKC, again, just kind of sort of saying, you know what, yeah, I need that Hail Mary option that you talked about before.
Yeah, I think for me, when you're at that such a kill percent, just sticking as Charizard, seeing what damage you can make stick feels to me like the right choice. But I'm not a PT player; these players are more experienced than me, so respect their choices.
Yeah, and we kind of touched on it before, but like Pokemon Trainer as a character is always sort of about sort of weighing up your options, deciding which character you want to use in certain situations. And the reason Pokemon Trainer has always been so strong is because you have that choice. You can go and swap between whichever option will do the job for you. So in this case, VKC obviously sort of knowing that, yeah, okay, a lot of my moves can kill, as Ivysaur. I'm at 52 as well. I'm quite safe. I've got those things. I can deal with Luma. I can just play a safer distance. And if I get something like a down air, an up air, I'm going to take their stock.
Yep, and not in a rush either is VKC going, I've got such a lead here, I'm just going to wait until you make the mistake, or just edge guard you with a dare, which we haven't seen much this set at all.
Exactly that, and that's exactly what I was talking about with those moves like the sort of down air, because it has such a huge hitbox to it. You can very safely do it just on stage, catch up recovery. Recovery not always been Rosalina's one of the strongest suits, but yeah, still able to take that stock wave. VKC now again hanging on to a bit of a lead here. Dev once again catch up, does take VKC to triple digits here, looking to try and take that stock away. You know he's hunting for it, but it's just a case of can VKC hang on long enough to tack on 3 damage here? He's got that stock to play with, but he needs to get a bit more going, which he's starting to do here.
Yeah, I'm not liking what's happening with Dev here. Dev taking a much more aggressive kind of approach here, and it's costing him a lot with a lot of unsafe hitboxes, a lot of unsafe moves. If he cannot close this stock off soon, this feels like lights out.
Yeah, and this especially is a terrifying position to be in for Dev here. You got to deal with Charizard, and you are 134%, 144 now, but you still got to deal with Charizard that's got rage and can kill you with a lot of moves.
Yeah, for sure. Charizard is such a scary character, right? 'Cause you're like, I should be punishing this, but if I miss-space that punish, I'm the dead one.
Yeah.
And that went for the up smash out of that jab, just getting cancelled out.
Okay,
Right?
that should be a stock. There we go. This is your opportunity, Dev, to strike. You've got one chance, 93% and a dream. That is all you've got. But you can certainly make it work because he's done it before.
For sure. VKC looking to try and make that just a dream, though. Keep him as a Squirtle, which is interesting. Puts him a long way off stage, though, so this Ivysaur might be able to get something done. Not quite. Is Dev SD? No.
And that's such a tough position. I like that Dev did stall off stage initially, but of course, as soon as he was pushed back, that was where it got, that's where it got shaken. Of course, the high recovery as well. Fortunately, Ivysaur's forward smash is a very long-range move. It does hit further than it looks for whatever reason. This game's weird. But, and unfortunately there, Dev just put in a position there. He couldn't do anything. We're just going to get smacked by that big old head of Ivysaur's.